Picture this. It's September 3rd, 2022, game 1 of the year. And Amari Burney picks off Cam Rising with just seconds to go to seal the deal for the Florida Gators. If you didn't know any better, you would think the Florida defense was back. Patrick Toney came into 2022 season bringing in a lot of hype and a lot of excitement, thinking that we were back into the nostalgia days of Florida Gator defense being elite. Unfortunately, we all know that wasn't the case. Florida will post more alarming numbers defensively in 12 different categories. Some blame personnel being not bought in. Others blame the former co-defensive coordinator. Regardless of where you want to point the finger, 12 players from last year's football team on the defensive side have found new homes via the transfer portal. Patrick Toney has gotten the call to the NFL. So with Patrick Toney leaving, that can only mean one thing: Austin Armstrong. Third advisor. Austin Armstrong, coming in at 29 years old, finds himself coming from Southern Miss and then was just recently in Alabama for a short stint before Billy Napier came in and swooped him up. While at Southern Miss, Armstrong defense ranked 42nd nationally in total defense, number 2 in the country in first downs, number 4 in fumble recoveries, number 6 in red zone defense, number 7 in defensive touchdowns, number 15 in turnovers gained, number 24 in passing yards, and only allowed 23.5 points per game, which ranks 45th nationally. Armstrong spent some time at Louisiana Lafayette, where he was the inside linebacker coach and defensive graduate assistant coach for 2017 and 2018. Armstrong also spent some time at Georgia in 2019, where he may have picked up a little bit of his southern drawl in visor game, which the nickname Little Kirby has been coined from over the last few weeks here because of that. Now, though Armstrong is familiar with Coach Billy as he coached with him at Louisiana Lafayette and has some similarities to Patrick Toney, here's how he will differ. Armstrong likes to mix it up a bit on his scheme defensively. He runs a cover 3 base system, but does like to mix in some cover 2s and covers 1, and this system calls for an increased percentage of blitzing. When asked about Armstrong in an interview with Graham Hall from 247 Sports, Billy had to say this: Austin's probably a little bit more southeast, where PT's a little more of a West Coast guy, if that makes sense. Austin's all the same stuff, but he puts a little different spin on it with pressure, moving the front man relative to zone. That's the cool thing about our system. There are a lot of variables you get to pick from. There's a human element to this game, and I think that's where it'll be a little bit different. Armstrong will bring a much more pressure up front while making in-game adjustments as needed. Last year at Southern Miss, Armstrong defense accounted for 50 sacks, 62 quarterback contacts, and 148 quarterback hurries. Meanwhile, in 2022, Florida accounted for only 22 sacks, 33 quarterback contacts, and 133 quarterback hurries. Now, if Armstrong can come in and improve those numbers like he did at Southern Miss, it would be a massive win for Florida and for Billy Napier and for what we can improve on the field next season. Now, although we have a lot of great things to talk about Armstrong, there is still some negative there, and that is with him only being 29 years old, he only has 2 major recruits under his belt. So will we see how he transitions to this new recruiting period, especially with the transfer portal? Can he come in and relate to these kids right away and have an impacting class for 2024? That'll be something that we keep an eye on over the next few months. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, turn the bell on. Check the link in the description for the full article on this. We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.